So we're really sort of getting into the differentiating frequency and energy from emotion and flux. So, in terms of the ocean, you know, the deep ocean current is where we're working right now. The deep ocean current is not um, affected by the surface current because the deep ocean current drives what happens in the background no matter what is happening on the surface. So I want you to think about like people that you've known where money is always showing up, opportunities are always showing up, no matter like what they're doing. So when we think about all the horrible people in the world who have massive amounts of money, like money does not care if you're a good person or not. Money doesn't care if you killed 5 people last week. Money doesn't care if you signed all your documents perfectly and crossed your T's and dotted your I's. Like money doesn't care because money is an energy through which courses through you and is directed by whichever, you are tuned into. And it doesn't have that, you don't have to be worthy to have money. You could completely unworthy of everything else and be an asshole and like be super, super wealthy. And so we need to sort of break away from putting conditions on what makes us good enough to receive money, because those conditions are what we self-impose. Money doesn't care about any of that. When you tune into the frequency of money is who I am, no matter how I act, no matter what is happening to me emotionally, you will always find yourself in wealthy and fully funded and fully resourced spaces. You don't have to be high vibe to have money. A lot of people will tell you that. A lot of people will be like, you need to increase your vibration to have money. When the reality is that you have to be open to receiving and making money. Because that's the vibe. And it's not complicated. It just has to say, you know what, God, I'm about to stand in this field with this bucket right now and just dump the money on me, all right? Doesn't matter if I was good, doesn't matter if I was bad. Like, here it is. Doesn't matter. We've had more than enough examples of terrible people doing terrible things and being like stupid rich. We've had more than enough people who did all the right things and have been stupid rich. The only same thing between them have in common is that they're stupid rich. It didn't matter if they were good. It didn't matter if they were bad. It didn't matter if they stood on their head in the middle of the field with the basket between their legs going, drop the money in this basket. So there is a vibe in or a way that you conduct yourself with the energy of money that says, yes, I'm available. Yes, I am here. And yes, this is my stasis. No matter what else is going on in the world, this is the stasis of what I hold in terms of my own expectations around money and wealth in my life. And so when you sort of operate from that level of belief, no matter what the outside circumstances, no matter what your current mood of the day, that's when you start instilling that deep ocean current that no matter what's happening on the surface, I'm still the same person doing the same thing, calling in the same thing at all times. So wherever you have put conditions on who you need to be in order to have this money could actually, yes, we want to be the best version of ourselves, but being the best version of yourself is not required to have the money that you want. As we go through this and we're working through internal wealth codes today, I really want you to be thinking about what do you want ingrained within you in terms of this is how I move, this is what I believe, this is how I experience money at all times in all situations. If you put conditions on your money, you will have to live up to those conditions to receive it. So again, going with it, if you have to be a good person to receive money, then your definition of a good person is what you will have to live up to in order to receive it. So the more judgment that you can release about who you have to be in order to be resourced, you will stop creating the hurdles and conditions through which money comes to you. So you know how alcohol gets created and then it's filtered. And then whatever amount of filtering needs to happen, you get the end product, right? So they filter out for impurities and things that, they don't want in the alcohol. But you notice that from the time the filtering starts until the finished product, the flow gets a little lower every time it passes through the filter, right? So, same concepts. If you're operating from the belief that money in and of itself, like just the energy of money, does not require anything to be filtered out, because money runs the full spectrum and we run the full spectrum with it. Everything from greed to like complete selflessness when it comes to money. And you can think about the quote unquote impurities that you may think of, like greed, hoarding, power over people, getting over somebody because you have this like power dynamic, right? You can create those filters that, like, I want to receive money and I'm willing to experience the whole spectrum of money. And I have experienced the whole spectrum of money. And then you start to filter, like, what are the energies of money that you want to receive. But if you filter and filter and filter and filter and filter, putting in more conditions than what is actually necessary, then you get a trickle down amount of what you actually could have received if you were more open. Now, the thing about those particles in the energy of money is that, yeah, you can filter out the energy of greed, not your thing. You can filter out the energy of hoarding. I love circulation. You can filter out different things, right? But when you start to put the conditions on, okay, now I need to be a good person, that filter's a little thicker than just filtering out just an energy. So when it comes to what you're crafting and creating for you, you love to create with fun, with service, with really supporting people to be in their most optimized state of being, right? The ability that you have to support people to help them to function better. There's a functionality to the energy of your money as well. And being able to freely do what you want when you want, that's also the energies of money that you are currently playing with the energy of play, with the energy of everything else. When you hone in on what opens the doors, it allows you to filter out what doesn't, but it keeps the filters thin. So it's not like this thick thing, like I gotta do this, stand on my head with the basket in the field, and the money's gonna come. Like, that's a really thick filter that you've got going on there. Like, how much money is actually gonna be able to come through that? I don't know.